Today's episode is brought to you by MuscleEgg. MuscleEgg is 100% liquid egg whites that are uniquely flavored to satisfy your sweet tooth. I've been using MuscleEgg for years now, and honestly, it's the only way I can eat eggs. I'm a very picky eater, I know. Anyway, try the MuscleEgg for yourself. The link is in description below.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So I thought for this video I'd give you a little sneak peek to a typical day of what a peak week is like for me. And I know I've done so many like peak week videos and competition videos, but this one's a little bit different, and here's why. So for the first time ever, never done this before, first time ever, I'm going to compete in 2 shows in one weekend. And I'll show you here my contracts for both shows, okay? So I'll be competing in the Texas Pro on Friday night, and then I will be flying into Reno, Nevada to be competing in the Tahoe show on Sunday morning and evening. So there's less than 48 hours between those shows. And like I said, I've never done this before. I've done 2-day shows, which is a little bit different scenario, obviously, because you stay in the same spot and just compete the next day. But this one's unique because I literally have to fly. So it kind of adds the element of like maintaining a little bit more than what I would have to do if I were just to do a 2-day show. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited for this. And I don't know, it might be crazy, but I love the challenge. I love it. I love to challenge myself with silly little things like this. So whatever happens, I'll either win or I will learn. That's how I gotta look at it, because even if I lose, I'll learn from it. So hopefully I do well. You know, I think if I do well in these 2 shows, I might call it a day until the Arnold and Olympia comes around. But if I don't do as well as I want, and if there's something that I need to improve on and it's bothering me, then I might continue to compete up until the Olympia. So we will see. But anyway, follow along. I'll show you a little bit into my day of peak week. So I just want to say this too. This is like a very unique scenario because usually the shows are on Saturday only, or if it's a 2-day show, it's a Friday, Saturday show. But I've never seen it line up to where one show was on a Friday and the other was a Sunday. So I was like, you know what? I see this opportunity. I'm going to ask Adam what he thinks of it. And I thought for sure he was going to think it was a dumb idea. But he was so supportive of it. And he's so down and excited. So that got me really excited for all this. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Let's see how I can hold up. Let's see. While we're in the kitchen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about peak week diet and how it's a little bit different. So this is my lunchbox. Coach Adam got this for me a few years ago because I loved it. What do I eat during peak week? That is the question. So first off, I kind of keep it simple, okay? So this would be a typical peak week meal. Nothing too exciting, guys, sorry. Just chicken and asparagus, shredded chicken and asparagus. With my usual seasonings, I do not cut out sodium or water during any point, really, in my peak week or prep, because salt isn't really a bad thing, sodium isn't really a bad thing, and it's actually kind of responsible for keeping your muscles full as well. So a lot of people think like just because you have sodium it equals water retention, and that won't really happen unless you do like fluctuations in sodium, right? So for example, if I'm used to using 6 tablespoons of hot sauce per day, and then all of a sudden I do 12 tablespoons of hot sauce plus a jar of pickle juice, I might see some water retention if I did that because there's a fluctuation, right? But if I keep it consistent, there shouldn't be any water retention issues, right? So if I just took out all the sodium, I would go super flat, and that is not what we want. Same thing goes with water. No need to cut water, guys. It's a false thing to think that everyone out there on stage is dehydrating themselves. That is not the case. That is not what I do anyway. So I don't cut out sodium, I don't cut out water, don't really change anything. Although I will say, like, show day, obviously I'm not drinking like a gallon of water because I don't want to be bloated with water on stage. That's the only exception. Other than that, everything's pretty darn normal and the same. I will say, however, though, on peak week, I try to limit my artificial sweetener consumption, not because it makes me retain water or affects me. It's like one of those scenarios, better safe than sorry, right? So if anything, artificial sweeteners might cause a slight amount of water retention or bloat, just because sometimes they can mess up with your healthy bacteria in your stomach sometimes. Do I notice a difference? I'm not sure. But just to be safe, I try to limit it. So instead of my Crystal Lights and my Diet Cokes, I will do some sparkling water. Sometimes I'll put stevia in it, sometimes not. But these seem to do the trick. I like to have my little cucumber slice snacks. So pretty much a typical thing for me. On peak week, not having the cravings like I usually do, just because I'm so focused. So at that point, food kind of just becomes fuel. And you're probably wondering, well, what do you do about like pre-workout? Well, I'll show you. Pre-workout for me during peak week, coffee. You know, we're doing coffee. So, you know, it's a little bit different, but it's not too bad. A lot of people think that it's a lot more miserable than what it is. And believe me, I've had miserable peak weeks. The first peak week of this year was kind of like that. I wasn't really ready and I was kind of like pushing it all the way till show day, you know? But in this case, I'm kind of just maintaining from show to show. So it's not that extreme for me. I much rather maintain than start all over with the prep that is not for me. I like to live the lean life, so hopefully I can continue to maintain this throughout, you know, the year. So we shall see. All right, so I'm at the contest prep center, just about to work out, but I thought I'd give you some life updates. So one exciting, super exciting thing that I need to tell you guys, and I mentioned it previously in the other video, but Adam and I will be traveling to Europe for a Europe tour. After Olympia, it should be the second week of November. We're going to Portugal, Romania, Spain, UK, and still don't have the exact, complete, precise details yet, but no, it is coming and I cannot wait. You know what? I was like, hey, since I'm going to be at these countries anyway, I might as well see. I wonder if there's any shows going on, right? It turns out it does fit into my schedule as far as seminar and shows, right? So I will be competing in the Wings of Strength Romania Pro Show and also the one in Spain. So I get to hit 2 competitions while I do the seminar tour. And like I mentioned, I love these crazy challenges. So it's kind of like a challenge for me. Like, yeah, let me prep for 2 weeks in a different country, 4 different countries, in fact. So yeah, I'm weird like that. I love those stupid little challenges, but I'm really excited to meet you guys, especially those who are overseas and don't get a chance to like come to the contest prep center, you know? So that will be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. And then another super exciting announcement is the Bikini and the Brain podcast. Oh my gosh, the next episode we're shooting is our 100th anniversary episode. How freaking crazy is that? 100 episodes. And I remember it like it was yesterday, Adam and I's first episode together in 2018, and we had no idea how it would take off, and we had no idea it would be as popular as it is now. And it's just so cool because I feel like for people that like approach me or message me, most of the time it's because of the podcast. They'll hear something in the podcast that resonates with them or helps them in some way and they want to share. And I don't know, I just think that's so cool. It was such an unexpected platform to take off on. We didn't really, I don't want to say we didn't take it seriously at first, but we had no idea it would be to this level. It's like one of the top fitness podcasts in all like fitness genres, right? That's including yoga and running and everything. So that is pretty cool that such a niche sport like ours is kind of up there in the ranks as far as podcasts. So super excited about that. And if you want to listen to our Bikini and the Brain podcast, I'll put the link in the description below. Adam uploads his podcast episodes to the Team Elite Physique YouTube channel, but we're more popular, honestly, on like the podcast platforms like Podbeam, Spotify, iTunes, all that. So yeah, give it a listen and let me know what you think about that. Then another life update, guys. This one's not as good. So, as you know, in 2020, I had eye surgery, right, for my strabismus, which is basically lazy eye. It's a medical term for lazy eye. And the whole process of how it happened is still like unknown, really. I just kind of like started to have double vision, and it slowly started accumulating. And then I noticed like my eye would go in. They thought it was a lot of things. They didn't think it was strabismus, because actually adult onset strabismus is kind of rare if you don't have something like a head injury or a medical condition, right? So it's kind of strange for an adult to just get a lazy eye out of nowhere. So when I first discovered that I was having these issues in late 2019, like I mentioned, they put me through all these tests. They thought it was all these medical problems. They thought it was something wrong with my brain, or, you know, they questioned if I got into like an accident and hit my head. Yeah, it was just a rare case of adult onset strabismus, because usually when people get strabismus, they had it as a child. I never had it as a child. Anywho, in early 2020, I had surgery on both eyes, right? And strabismus eye surgery is a lot more invasive than, let's say, LASIK, right? It's not like I'm just kind of getting a little laser thing in my, no. Strabismus eye surgery, they put you under completely, they kind of cut and tie at the muscles in your eyes to make them even out. And you know, I went through this whole surgery, and they told me there's a chance that later in your life it will start coming back, because some people have to get multiple surgeries. And when I had this surgery, right, it put me out for a long time. Like, I had to miss the Arnold and everything. It definitely was like 3 months before I could even wear makeup or contacts. It was like a month before I could start working out properly. Turns out it is coming back, guys. My strabismus is coming back. Now, it's just in one eye as of now. It's in my left eye, whereas before it was in both eyes. But that's kind of how it starts. It starts with one eye, and then it moves to two, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. And I can't even drive properly unless I have my special glasses. So I get these special glasses made. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but if you take a look, do you see how there's lines in this one? And then on this one, there's not. So basically, those lines in the lens kind of trick my brain into thinking that my eye is like seeing correctly, and I'm able to see straight. So I use these when I'm driving, right? I only use these when I'm driving, and I got the reflective kind just so that no one notices that there's lines in there. And it works for driving. I don't have glasses with this on. I'm actually kind of afraid to get them and wear them too often, because I don't know, from what my doctor said, there's a possibility that if I wear these too much, my eye will get even worse, because it kind of prevents my eye from working and trying to adapt. We'll see. I have another follow-up appointment here in September, but I might have to get surgery again, guys. I might have to get surgery. If I do get it, it would be like at the end of the year. So hopefully I'll be able to compete in the Arnold next year. It's just frustrating, but I don't like to talk about it too much, because to be honest, like, I hate the feeling of people feeling sorry for me. I don't want pity. Don't give me pity. Don't say, I'm sorry, Ashley, in the comments. Don't do it. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. And I'm fully aware that, you know what? This is nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like, people deal with so much worse medical problems. My eye is just crap, okay? It's not wanting to cooperate, and I just see double all the time, okay? So it's hard for me to actually see straight. And it's funny because, like, if you notice, and sometimes in my videos, especially like if you watch a Bikini and the Brain podcast video on YouTube, like, you'll see that I'm looking down a lot. Okay, and people are like, are you tired, Ashley? And I'll, even in crowds, like if I'm like in a group or whatever talking, or if I'm talking to someone, I tend to look down a lot. And the reason why is anytime I look up, if I try to focus my eyes for more than like a second, they start to go double. So I can't not see double. If it's really close like this, I can see single, it's fine. But if we're talking about farther than that, like give me like 3 feet and I'll start to see double. So the only way I can see single is basically by looking down. So I find myself looking down a lot in videos just because it strains my eyes to like look up and kind of see double. I hate it. It sucks because it messes up my depth perception. And even when I'm doing my presentation on stage, it's so difficult because it's like, unless I'm looking at the ground, which you don't want to do when you're competing, right? Because you want to be confident and show that you're confident head up and everything like that. It's hard to kind of position my body. Like I said, my spatial awareness and my depth perception is so off because of my double vision. And yeah, it just sucks because there's no way to turn off. It's not like on and off double vision. I cannot not see double if it's more than 3 feet away from me. However, I will say the only other thing that kind of prevents me from seeing double is if I'm constantly moving my eyes around like this, I won't see double. But if I try to focus on something, that's when I start to get a little doubly. And yeah, obviously whenever we're competing, we want to make eye contact with the judges. That kind of makes it a bit difficult. But I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, guys. My life is good. This is nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's just freaking annoying that this eye right here, you can see it. Look, see how it's going in already? Yep. This is me trying to look straight into the camera. See it? Yeah, that's freaking annoying. But other than that, life is good. Life is really good. I'm really enjoying my life. Competing is a lot of fun. I get asked a lot, why and how do I compete so much? You know, it's just like, why not? I'm enjoying myself. Don't necessarily need to, but it's a goal I want. I want to compete as much as I possibly can within reason. Like, I want to make good choices when I compete. I want to make sure I'm still keeping my physique maintained and it's looking good and it doesn't flatten out too much. But I just kind of realized that I'm in a very, very lucky position. Like, I'm not tied down by children or pets or family. I get all my expenses paid for when I compete by my amazing sponsor, High Tech Pharma. Shout out to High Tech. They love to see me compete. They're so freaking supportive. So they will pay for all my travel expenses anytime I compete anywhere. So you know what? I'm lucky that I'm in this position. Regardless of the stupid eye problem, I'm lucky and I gotta take advantage of this amazing time in my life. So, you know, that's what I always think about as I compete. Just freaking go for it. Be fearless and go for it because you never know when you get another health issue or whatever the case may be. But I know right now I'm freaking loving my life. So, you know, can't complain too much regardless of an eye. Anyway, all right, guys. So I'm about to go inside. I got to do some training, got to do some bikini posing. And I will see you later, Gator. So it's time for a little bit of posing practice. I've been working on my posing, that's for sure. It's definitely gotten a little bit better, but I'm always trying to improve. So you might see some slight adjustments each time I do my posing. That's why, you know, I just do it to see what can I do better or what looks more flattering on me. Trying to do a little bit of different variation of my back pose / walk. That's what I've really been focusing on. But yeah, we're going to see what Coach Adam has to say here in a moment. And he's going to give me a little physique assessment and see if I'll be ready for this weekend or if I need to do more cardio or more carbs, or we'll find out very shortly.
so you can't be full hand. So we don't be aggressive. Let's be in between. Let's do this.
But I'll do whatever you say though. I mean, I'm just saying, but I feel like physically how I feel, like, because I feel my butt, it's soft. I have a soft butt.
That's it.
I do.
Well, you've been doing a lot of. The other thing too is you've been doing a lot of glutes and a lot of working out hard, and you just train legs, and so you are going to have some inflammation built up for sure.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's kind of like that every day though.
Yeah, but it'll be there. You know, you've been working out hard. You're going to have that inflammation. So we have to take it. We're going to do is a full back on how hard we work out this week. Cut the artificial sweeteners. Give yourself a little bit more fullness. You're going to get tighter and fuller and bigger, and it'll pull the skin from the area that you're concerned with. You're going to be fine. Okay, let's see your pose.
Okay.
Yeah, you're going to get tighter. Don't worry. I don't know, actually. You're popping a lot.
From the front, yeah.
Your tendons are there. There's a slight separation of your leg, just a tiny bit. Core is there. The separation on your leg line all the way down. Doesn't look bad here. Your time is deep. You know what's crazy is that your tie-in, I feel like it's getting more developed, and I wonder if that is causing the little change there.
I don't think so.
Like,
I think it'd be the opposite.
No, but I think it's like you're standing up again and you just did something. Like move your so like maybe move your foot just a tiny bit. See, like you need to put more pressure on this, like a leg, more pressure on it. There you go, right there. So look over here, your glute. Like this tiny area here, like you could, if you move it, you'll see it like contract, like it'll squeeze.
Oh, I always have.
And but it's lower, like it's more developed now.
It got lower?
It's like more developed at the lower part.
Oh, okay.
No, it didn't get lower.
Darn.
You just squeeze it down. No, like I think that might be causing like just some new lines to you that you're not used to seeing. It's more developed actually.
Skin lines.
It's
We're
causing.
gonna do the opposite? I don't know. Filling it out more.
You're so resistant to that.
I'm not giving myself credit. I know.
No, you're not. You're super resistant to it. Watch.
I feel like I look like poo-poo.
Stand there again and like to your side. Other way. Basically where you were. Like here is this tie-in where you're coming in is more developed and it's thin. This here, just here.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's causing new lines and it's confusing you, but when you're walking, you could see it a little bit deeper, like a little bit more pronounced. So it's just more developed. I don't know if it's that and that's causing the lines.
No. Hopefully you're right.
It's pretty obvious. You don't see it.
I mean,
You see
I'm
it
really
every
good
day.
how I feel, like physically touch.
Just
Like I'm not.
Look at.
Oh, that's always there.
That's not always there unless you're shredded.
Oh no, it was there. I mean, here's the thing. I every show I've competed in, it was there. But I'm saying like physically, like the skin and pinching, I can tell I'm not as tight in my glutes. I mean, maybe it's okay if it's more developed and then it doesn't matter as much. I mean,
Maybe it's both.
hopefully. I don't know. But you know how I get. Sorry, you know how I get close to show.
Yeah.
But if you say I look good, then I look good.
You're
Even before even before the Patriots,
Yeah.
I was like not impressed with myself.
I just think you still give yourself credit. But I will say your glutes are more developed, your shoulders are more developed. To me, you look just as hard. I think that your glutes are a little bit more developed and the lines are a tiny bit different because there is more development, and that might be what's causing that. Maybe there is some softness, more softness too. But if there is, it's a kiss of softness, which, I don't think it's enough to really.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
If it goes the Olympia, I'd be a little bit more concerned. I'd be like, all right, let's keep going with some cardio for a few days maybe, but like.
I guess the reason why I'm so focused on that, because I know that's my weak point. You know what I mean? If it was like, oh, you're softer in your abs, you're like, whatever, have too much anyway, you know? But it's kind of like, I already know in comparison, I'm not as lean as other girls right there. So that's why I'm like extra cautious of that.
when you hit your back pose and you hit that transition, it's not like I mean, you're having, like, when you walk, you have glute striations. So I don't know which type of you get.
Yeah.
Like, you have full-on glute striations when you walk.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't get much tighter than that. I know. It's hard. The glutes themselves, when you're walking into here, I can see just your casual walking, you can see your glute striations. Like, you get any tighter, it's at the point where you get so tight that you're at the better here, worse here area. You know? You're at that point where I'm better in the skin area, but my abs are too tight. I'm better in this area, but my quads are separated. You know? Better in this area, but my shoulders are too detailed. Like, there's no give and take at this point. You're like where you need to be.
Okay.
I know.
Thank you.
I know. But there really isn't. If you get any tighter than this, you're going to see a lot of striations, you're going to see way too much detail on your core. It's pretty much perfect.
So, I got a question. Maybe the reason my glutes, I don't think we're looking as good. Did you forget to pray to the glute gods for me?
Oh,
You know you didn't. Adam, how can you forget? This is so important. Everyone join us. Oh, glute gods, please make these glutes nice and popping on stage for Friday and for Sunday. Give me the pop. Give me the pop. Amen. Hopefully now, when I wake up
we're getting
tomorrow.
struck by lightning.
So my bikini, if you guys didn't notice, this is from Angel's Competition Bikinis. And of course I'm not wearing this one on stage, it's just for fun, just a posing bikini, but they make the cutest bikinis. My red bikinis that you always see me wear, those are Angel's too. And I will put the link in the description if you guys want to check out the site. Use code ASHLEY to check out. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you learned a thing or two about what I do during peak week. And I will catch you guys in Texas or Tahoe. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you